I think this process is very interesting because it is a completely anonymised process, yet instinctively people with very different educational, cultural and very different personalities coalesce around the excellent, often overcoming, I think, their own instincts towards the kind of work which they would personally perhaps advocate.
We saw a huge amount of entries this year to the silver medal, 131 in total that we viewed.
It was a very intense process. We obviously had to look at a lot of images in a very short period of time, but what I was surprised about was how quickly you could come to conclusions about projects.
It was interesting because it was a very different group. You had our previous winner, you had practitioners and myself as an academic. You might think that they would look for very different things in the projects, but it was extremely easy to get to a shortlisting.
I think what was encouraging about a variety of the entries, where there was a desire to take an existing typology and look at refurbishment, restoration, and how we can learn from the familiar. Interesting looking at housing, which was encouraging. You know, these are the sorts of things that it's interesting to see that are being engaged and these briefs are being looked at.
I think there was some real gems and highlights, especially for some of the briefs that sometimes you don't think students will decide to do at Part 2 level.
I was especially encouraged by the highly commended scheme on what that was addressing and the message that that gives as well within the architectural profession.
When we all got to the final stages of the judging, I think the winner for us was particularly apparent because it had everything that we wanted from the project.
It was clearly the winner from the moment we saw the images as they were presented to us until after we saw the presentation of the portfolio.
I think it was a unanimous decision right from the first viewing of work that this was an incredibly strong project. It was dealing with a typology and exploring this in such depth.
Above all, it has complete intellectual clarity. It tells a story, quite a complex story, in a logical, sequential and hugely coherent manner. It's a tour de force.
I think when students are in an embryonic stage, it's important to recognise that the ideas that they have are worth taking forward into practice, because within practice obviously there are a lot of restrictions, and once you're in there it's good to hold on to those ideas and keep them fresh and realise that they're of value.
The President's Medals is there, I think, both as a promoter and agent provocateur of thought leadership in the profession, and long may it be so.